Good day, awesome YouTubers. It is Lyman16 here again for another Dragon Ball Super review. This one is on episode 75 entitled Goku Tai Kuririn to the Nostalgic Training Place. I don't actually have a Japanese title for this one, but I will give you it, guys, as soon as I can actually find it. So, first of all, this episode, yes, we are still 2 episodes away from the beginning of the Universal Survival arc, beginning on February the 5th, and this episode is episode 75, and it's going to start on episode 77. And although this episode was a in-betweener still episode, I found this episode to be an excellent episode of Dragon Ball Super. We got so many good things going on with this episode. I think it was, in my opinion, guys, this episode was much better than last week. Last week was, I was never really a fan of Great Saiyan. I mean, we did have some character moments with Videl and stuff, but all the way it was a kind of a throwaway episode for me. But this episode really kicked it up a notch. We begin with Goku training, or it's not, well, he's kind of like training. He's farming and training, on his usual, his usual farming place. I don't exactly know. I'm pretty sure it's just like a pasture of land or whatever he farms on. And so he's kind of training there, but he's really bored because there's no one else to train with, because Whis and Beerus are currently doing their duties. Beerus is currently, doing his Hakaishin God of Destruction duties, so he's not really around, and nor is Whis to go train. And, Gohan and Goten and Chi-Chi are discussing this as they're standing with Goku while he's kind of training and farming. They're discussing, the potential people that Goku could possibly train with. I guess what happens here is Vegeta and Piccolo and really everyone else that Goku could train with are currently busy right now. Piccolo being with Dende and Vegeta's off somewhere. I forget where exactly he is. But anyway, no one is around to train with Goku. And then along the while, Gohan, or actually, I think it was Goten, one of them, they say to Gohan, well, why don't you train with him? And Gohan's kind of like, oh, I don't really want to train, and I'm not really up to it. But then he realizes, well, wait a minute, I have my Great Saiyan suit, and I could, I could use that. I have that identity to go help train with. Essentially meaning that Gohan he can't get in the mood of fighting without his Saiyan suit, so yeah, that's kind of a... But anyway, we get some really awesome action sequences for such a in-betweener episode. I did not expect this at all. So Gohan goes into his Saiyan suit, and Goku in his base form, they actually start going at it. Goku's like, Gohan, what are you doing? And Gohan's like, oh, I am not Gohan. I am the Great Saiyan. So, classic Saiyan stuff. Actually, in fact, he does his little, his montage, his standard catchphrase / dialogue sequence, where he's saying like, by day I am a scholar and father to Pan, and then at night I am the Great Saiyan. So, anyway, Goku and Great Saiyan start going at it. They start going all out ham. Gohan mentions how fast Goku is, and he's kind of keeping up, but not really, until Goku decides to go Super Saiyan, and so does Great Saiyan, and he actually goes Super Saiyan, and his helmet comes off. So, it's basically SS Goku versus SS Gohan, and the action in this sequence was actually pretty intense. I was really surprised for an in-betweener episode how good this fight was. But anyway, after this fight, it's kind of it comes to a stalemate when Chi-Chi tells them to knock it off, because while in the process of fighting, they pretty much destroyed the whole area. And so, but anyway, after the scene, Gohan, has to go back, and he has a kind of a life to live. And so Goku's again stuck alone with no one to train with. But I think it's Goten. Is it Goten? I'm not sure, but one of them suggests Kuririn, or Krillin, for those of you who know him in the dub. And so Goku, I guess he uses instant transmission over there. And while this is happening, we get some stuff with, we get a whole sequence with Krillin, and he's fighting some crooks, some more criminals, because as you guys all know, Krillin is a police officer, and he's fighting these criminals, and we get some pretty intense stuff with some other police force coming into, as a kind of like a backup to Krillin, and he's fighting these criminals, and at one point he gets around him, but then they start firing machine guns and stuff, and this is really interesting and really strange, I thought. Halfway into that whole scene, Goku arrives, but before Goku can do this, I think Krillin goes out to like protect one of the police officers from getting shot, and Krillin gets actually hit in the side of the arm with a machine gun, and it seems like he's bleeding. Now this is really weird because I thought that Krillin was strong enough to take those machine guns, but maybe not. I mean, it's been a long time since he's training, so I'll let that slide. I can accept that. If Krillin may not be really strong, and he can't get. I mean, he was not really hurt or anything. He was just a little bit banged up, but nothing really serious. So anyway, Goku arrives, and Krillin tells Goku to stop the robbers because they are criminals. Goku immediately teleports to them, and one of the crooks is going to shoot at Goku. But Goku, in an awesome scene, Goku grabs one of the machine guns and just bends it upwards. Like, he can easily bend metal. I mean, of course. No duh, Goku is obviously that strong. So, yeah. Anyways, after this, Goku and Krillin have some conversation. Kuririn is he's telling Goku here, thanks for saving me. And, Goku's like, oh, it's training, Krillin. I mean, do you want to train with me? And so anyway, they go back to Krillin's house after this whole thing, and they have some weird dialogue here, and I'm not exactly sure what they explain here. But anyway, Herms, and by the way, I'm not even sure I said this earlier in the video, but big shout out to Herms. I mean, he's here again for he's here every week translating these episodes. Like I said again, go support him over at twitter.com/Herms98. Show him lots of support, guys. Great man, does great work. But anyway, back to this review. So, Marin, the daughter of Krillin, actually says to 18, she kind of speculates, is Daddy weak? And this kind of upsets Krillin, and he wants to make Marin and Android 18 very proud, and so he decides to go training with Goku. And Goku and training are kind of having a little sparring match, and Goku mentions to Krillin, well, if we're gonna go training, then why don't we go to Muten Roshi's place and train with him? And so Krillin decides to do this. But before that, I want to mention a really cool scene where it's Goku and Krillin, their silhouettes of them, kind of in their Kame Sennin battle pose, and they're about to square up, and there's these flashbacks of when it's reanimated flashbacks of when Goku and Kuririn first trained with Muten Roshi all the way back in Dragon Ball. That was a really cool sequence. It was almost the same sequence as episode 16, but nonetheless, it was pretty cool. So anyway, Goku and Kuririn arrive at Muten Roshi's place, and they want to train with him. But before that, Krillin offers Master Roshi, those magazines, those pichi magazines, like he did back in Dragon Ball. That was, again, another nostalgic scene. And so Muten Roshi actually dresses Goku up in a turtle suit, which I found was really funny. This is really a comical scene where Goku's in his, the whole turtle suit, and Krillin's he's squaring up to fight Goku. But before this, Krillin tells Goku, not to go all serious and not to use the Super Saiyajin forms, and he also tells Goku not to fly because that's kind of against the rules. Because obviously Goku is not as strong. Goku is way stronger than Krillin at this point. But it's just that's why they put the rules in. So anyway, they start going at it, and Krillin tries to hit Goku with all of his moves, but he can't. Goku is just way too fast, and basically can't catch him. At the end of the day, actually I should say at the end of the night, Krillin it's Goku who's asleep, and Krillin is he's standing there by the Kame house, and he's doing some training at night by himself. And this reminded me not only of episode, I think it was 18 of Super, where Vegeta was training by himself, but Krillin's, he's training his punches, and this is really good stuff, man. I really gotta hand it to Toei for this episode. Even though it's an in-betweener episode, this episode really gave some good nostalgia and really good action sequences, and on top of that, it gives us good Kuririn development, which I really, really enjoyed. This was a good episode, guys. I gotta tell you right now, very good episode. In terms of an in-betweener, this might actually be one of my favorite in-betweener episodes. Anyway, so back to the whole recap review thing. Kuririn is training there on Muten Roshi's place in the night, and he's kind of getting a sweat going, and he's thinking about Goku, and how basically he's kind of conflicted. He wants to be strong for 18 and Marin, but at the same time, he's obviously not going to get anywhere near as strong as Goku. But does he want to be his old life, or does he want to go up to when he was before a Budokan or a martial artist? So after this sequence, it's the next day, and Muten Roshi's training for the day is an errand, and he tells Goku and Krillin to go into some random island off the coast of the Kame house, and he wants them to fetch for him some paradise grass. So yeah, this quote-unquote paradise grass, guys, is probably like some kind of I don't know, some kind of substance, like I don't know if it's like weed or something, but I mean, it might be pretty similar, and I'll get to that later. So it's a competition, and it's basically a competition to who gets the paradise grass first. This reminds me a lot of when Master Roshi, back in the old days when Goku and Krillin had to chase that rock. Remember, guys? I don't know if you guys watched Dragon Ball, but in the old days, Muten Roshi wanted Krillin and Goku to get a rock, a specific rock, and who gets the rock first will eat dinner, and who didn't get it will not get dinner. So again, another nostalgic scene. Very awesome to see that. But by the way, in the forest, they meet someone who we haven't seen in a very long time, and that's Uranai Baba, which, again, that's more nostalgia. I mean, I'm up for it. So Baba is there, and I'm not really sure what she's telling them because the stream kind of cut off while I was watching this. Crunchyroll kind of cut off. So I'm not really sure what she said, but anyway, I think she's telling them like where to find the paradise grass, and Goku and Krillin go into this weird kind of dark spooky cave in the forest, and along the way they start to get like almost like hallucinations or such, and they start to see their old villains again. Like I'm talking about not only Cell but Kid Buu, Vegeta, and Nappa. So it's Vegeta with the shoulder plates and Nappa. Along the way, I think we see Piccolo Daimao, and we also see the I think it was Drum, I believe. Anyway, the offspring of Piccolo Daimao who killed Kuririn in the original Dragon Ball series. And of course, Krillin freaks out about this because obviously he's the guy who killed him. Oh yeah, and we also get to see Frieza again. So I'm curious to see how this whole thing plays out. I'm sure it's just some illusions, but again, I'm sorry. Herms mentioned on Twitter that it's actually tambourine, not drum. Sorry, my bad, guys. It's tambourine, not drum, and so yeah, I'm really hyped, guys. One more thing I have to note: at the very end of the episode, actually after the episode aired, after the preview for next week aired, we get some new stuff with the Universal Survival arc. And oh my goodness, it looks amazing. We have Kaba going Super Saiyan. Some other female or some kind of Saiyan apparently going Super Saiyan or something. I don't know. I don't know. And then we get some other Gods of Destruction. I mean, go watch it for yourself, guys. That's the most hype, obviously. I'm really hyped for all this. And overall, for this episode review 75, really good stuff, really good action sequences, really good nostalgia, and also some, although not major development for Krillin, we get some good development for Krillin. So I'm really happy about that. Next week we're gonna get the conclusion to this stuff, and apparently we're gonna, it's gonna be setting up for the Universal Survival arc, which begins at episode 77. So that's it for my review, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you guys next week for another Dragon Ball Super review. Thank you all for watching. Stay awesome, everybody, and have a good one.